Hi, I think we're live again now? Well, no, we're live for the first time. There was definitely not any technical difficulties today. This is the first part of it. I gotta check my audio. My computer, hibernated earlier. Like, it ran out of power, went into hibernation mode. I gotta check my audio. Let me do that real quick. How is everybody today? That really shouldn't cause any problems to my audio, but the computer restarting does. Also, if I click on any other window, this happens to the game audio. It's pretty great, right? The computer restarting does. Okay, that sounds... Also, if I click on any other window, this happens to the game audio. It's pretty great, right? Okay, that sounds normal. That sounds good to me. Okay, let's go. Kirby Mass Attack today. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, I was looking on the 3DS eShop yesterday, right? Just to check and see if there was anything that I wanted on there that I missed, putting on my list. And I found that there's a big Capcom sale on there right now. Like, they have a ton of their games on there just for $5 each. It's pretty great. If you have any interest in, like, I don't know, Street Fighter, Phoenix Wright, what else did I see on there? Monster Hunter, like a bunch of Monster Hunter games are on sale for $5 each. I don't actually know what the point of the Stream Elements bot is. I should probably get rid of it. I don't know what it's doing other than giving redundant announcements at the start of every stream. I think you can do things with it, but I have nothing set up, so it kind of just does nothing. Shit. That's just Stream Elements is a valued member of chat. Much more well-valued than, Automod. Hello, welcome. Get there, Kirby. There we go. But yeah, so Capcom's having a sale on the 3DS eShop. So I got the Mega Man Legacy Collection, because it was only $5. I don't know when or if I'll ever play that, but for $5, it's like, well, might as well have it in my collection, you know? I've played Mega Man 2 from that collection. Previously, because it's on the NES Classic Edition. And I've played Mega Man X, and I've played Mega Man 11. I'm weird because Mega Man 11 was my favorite one. Fizz hates that game. No! Do not. Yeah, I didn't really care for Mega Man X that much. I think I liked Mega Man 2 better, although that game has some nonsense. Mostly just with the final boss. And that you can potentially, like, lock yourself out of being able to beat it if you don't do it properly. That bothers me. And you'd have to go a really long way back to get out of that. Also, Biz was telling me that, like, after Mega Man 3, the rest of them on the NES are kind of just like ROM hacks. They said they stopped innovating after 3. But for $5, like, that's less than $1 per game on there, because there's 6 of them. They didn't have... The sale didn't extend to the Switch, though, so... I don't get Legacy Collection 2, because that's only on the Switch. Are these things supposed to have a web? Like, I think they're supposed to have a line attached to them. Is that emulation error? Well, that's unfortunate. This emulator is a work in progress, to be fair. And usually the more popular the game is, the more attention it gets in emulation development, so this one's probably not high on people's lists, unfortunately. I mean, New Super Mario Bros. Had some emulation errors, though, so who knows. Good music time. I mean, it's all good music, but I like this one in particular. Boom. Big bird. Big bird attack. There we go. There we go. Basically, the only Mega Man games I've played were the ones that were basically given to me. Other than 11, I did buy that one myself, because Mega Man X came with the Super NES Classic Edition, and Mega Man 2 came with the NES one. And I wouldn't have played those if they weren't just in a big collection like that. And then this one I only have because it was very inexpensive. A Mama Bird for Mother's Day, yes. I'm streaming early today, and also we're not gonna have Miss today, unfortunately, because I have to go to a movie later on. And some other stuff for Mother's Day. So there will be no Biss today, but hopefully tomorrow will be a makeup stream with Biss. Should be, I keep forgetting to ask them, but I want to do Kirby Superstar and try and redeem ourselves with the arena. Well, if we're just doing one stream tomorrow, I could have 4 hours with Biss and we could do two things. We could do that, and we could do Kirby Stream Land 3. Bet y'all would be down for that. Because we never finished, we never managed to get through the arena together. It's like a black spot on our record. It's a besmirch to our good names on this stream that we couldn't do the arena together. There you go. There we go. Also, speaking of Kirby, I saved all the Waddle Dees in Kirby and the Forgotten Land now. I just got the last one just before the stream while I was waiting for my computer to wake back up. There we go. Arrow said that she doesn't mind if you stream over her stream. By the way, Sasha. She doesn't want you to be beholden to her stream. Got it. There we go. She said it happens, you know? Everybody's got their own schedules. You gotta go with what works for you. I have one question about Forgotten Land, because I want to stream it again when I get to whatever the true arena equivalent is, right? The ultimate... the one that's called, like, the Ultimate Showdown or whatever? That one's not the final one, right? It doesn't give me the impression that it's the final one. Kirby! Come back, Kirby! Also, hello, go and fix a shelf! Welcome to stream! finished setting up my phone? I didn't even start setting up my phone. What are you talking about, Windows? You screwed up my game for that? What's wrong with you? Can't believe I took damage to that. Did you miss? Not too much. You're here right at the beginning, basically. This is the first level I've been playing. I want that. Hey, 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 Mr. Spider, I want that. Boy, they just brutally destroy things in this game, the Kirbys do, don't they? There we go. Oh! I forgot! The reason I'm on camera today. Ta-da! Look who's here! There's two of us now. Two zombies. Ta-da! She's my co-star. Ta-da! I'm so happy with this plush, it's so cute. I bought a bunch of stuff yesterday because I had money. But now I can't buy anything else the rest of the month. But I got new shoes. I'm excited for that. I got a skirt that's on the way. I'm not usually really into those, but there was one that was really my style, so I was like, gotta go for it. I bought the Min Min amiibo because I didn't realize that was out. I saw it on Nintendo's website, so I was just like, I gotta get that immediately. That ran me like $20. Uh-oh, what the heck did I just do? Okay, nothing actually. The window was rendering some of my internet browser. I've got something new and extras. Please be a cool minigame. Music player. Dang. Well, 3 more and we'll get something. This game has such good minigames, I'm very excited for them. So we did stage 3, so we want to do stage 4 next. Or I guess we did them out of order? That's 2. That's 4. Okay, so we're on 5 then. Okay. Sure. But yeah, I got that Min Min amiibo because I need it. Min Min is like one of my favorite video game characters of all time. My very favorites are probably Pearl and Marina. Oops, the controller turned off. I kinda need that for things. Speaking of, here they are. There's Marina. And Pearl. I love them. I hope they do something cool in Splatoon 3. I'm also very curious to see who the new, idols will be in Splatoon 3. I hope they're really, like, punk. To fit with the aesthetic. I hope they're really, like, nasty gremlin characters. I think that would be great. Yeah, I love Min Min. Well, here's one of my favorites, right? I got this plush. Let's see if I can get her... Let's see. So here's my chair that I should sit in, but don't. Looks a little pathetic. Sit up. There, that's good. Oh, she's over there. Oh. 2 octolings. That could work. You ever think about people who keep wanting there to be salmonlings? Oh shit. Biss has a tirade against the idea of salmonlings. Girls love to be little and pathetic. Yes, did you see my post last night where I said I've entered my gremlin era? This is just because, this is based on the fact that I now am going for having sharp teeth in my, my art design of myself. And, I just... no filter, I just say stuff. I mean, I've always done that, but I'm like leaning into it. And so is Sasha. We are in our gremlin eras together. Boom. That's a horrible farty noise. Right up there with the Squeeball's farty noise. Which is one of the farty noises of all time. Here we go. Love the little springy thing there. But we got a big guy. An inspiration for little freaks everywhere. Hell yeah. I was introduced to a character yesterday on Twitter somebody sent to me. That is very good. From a very obscure Japanese Virtual Boy game that apparently was also made by a trans woman. And the character in question was her self-insert. And that like just adds to it. I'll go get her in a second. Don't let me forget. I'm gonna show you this Virtual Boy character. Sent in by a fan. Boom. I wonder which one I'm supposed to grab. Oh. Ha ha ha, they tricked me. It is I who have been gotted. Also, look what invincibility does in this game. It makes you big as well. Oops, I accidentally resized the window. Again. You don't see anything wrong, but... I love this. I'm getting a really glitchy window. Thankfully it's not capturing that way, but... Wait, what's happening? Okay, everybody's here. Come on. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. There's gonna be hell on my drawing tablet pen. One sec, everything's kinda screwed up here. Okay, now you see something. Oh my god, why is it like this? It's so glitchy. I'm so sorry, everybody. Okay. It seems stable. Oh, you're getting like a little line at the top, though. You see that? I don't want that. Just this game requires you to, okay, it's good. Requires you to do a lot of flicking with the pen, right? And I end up hitting the edge of the screen and dragging it, and that causes hell to occur. Yeah, it's fine on your end at least, but it's not fine on my end, so I had to fix it. It was like like the edges, I don't know how to explain it, the edges of the screen were like flickering and like showing my internet browser through, and it was really obnoxious. Thankfully you didn't see anything, but... Also, I think I want to play this in this mode. Also, well, now the pixel grid is off. Let me... hold on. Screen size. There! There, perfect. Okay, fixed. Hi, Viz. Okay, flick. Flick, 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 flick. You're here to arrest whoever was airing support for salmonlings? Oh yes, Biz, give us your rant about salmonlings. I forgot what your problem was with them. Exactly. I didn't want to put words in your mouth. So please tell us so I can read it. Also, Biz, would you be willing to, try again at the arena in Kirby Superstar tomorrow on our stream? I don't know why I'm, like, struggling to, like, fling these Kirbys. Come on! What if I try with the mouse? That's even worse. Okay, I don't like that. Because then you have to click every time. And that is unfortunate. Why won't it just do it? Go, go, go! Flick them! Flick the Kirbys! Flick them! Flick them! Why it won't flick them at all now? We should be more careful. No. Flick them! Flick them! I don't remember this being such a hard thing. Flick them! Please. It wasn't so hard earlier. I got pretty far. Flick them! Why? Am I just gonna have to give up on this medal? In this playthrough? Flick, you darn Kirbys, flick! Something's wrong with how I have to control this, I feel. Because this didn't use... I never had this trouble playing this on a real DS. Okay, hold on a sec. We can do this. I'm gonna take a drink. The drink of the day is Spindrift again, which I love the name of because it sounds like a move in a racing game. I don't know why it's called Spindrift. Also, I just noticed this. It says now lighter and brighter. I don't know if I really want my food and drink to be bright, but there you go. You're drinking graham cracker flavored coffee? I don't like coffee in the first place, but that does sound interesting. This says cephalopods can flex into different shape. Here, I should pause to read this. Cephalopods can flex into different shapes, can change colors, and produce ink. Splatoon extends these abilities in a fantasy direction that's thematically fitting by blurring the line between their amorphous and flexible forms / appearances and their ink, making them function like liquid organisms. Salmon are normal-ass fish with bones that can't do shit. They don't even produce ink in-game. They spread tainted slime, it's different. Inklings just thematically work so well because they feel like a mythological extension of their real counterparts. Can't transmit their mechanics to random fucking animal. Okay, thank you, Vince. I remembered it was something like that, but I couldn't remember exactly. I watched a video about salmon evolution the other day. Because, you know, they die when they reproduce. And I was just thinking about how such a system developed. And it was basically just that, like, first they developed homing, right? Which is where animals return to the place where they were born to reproduce, because basically what the advantage of that would be is that they are living proof that that was a successful place to breed at, right? So they go to the place that's known to work. And then when you have that going on, whichever fish get there first are the ones who are more likely to get to reproduce and have space for their nests and whatever. I'm gonna have to give up on this. I can't do this. Because the Kirby's just won't flick. Maybe if I slow down. Can a slower pace work at this? I can't... Like, it's just not happening. I don't understand. Why is it not happening? Why is it just not happening? I don't understand. How did I do this earlier? Am I just not... Maybe I'm just not supposed to do this here? Oh, I see. That's the That's why. That's why. Well, now it all makes sense. Now I understand. Hopefully I didn't just block myself up from something else important over here, though. Yeah, I did. Or did I? But yeah, so whichever salmon get... Yeah, I did. Shit. I don't know how I... Well, whatever. But yeah, so salmon... Whoever gets there first is the most likely to get to breed and have space for their eggs and whatever. And so they just start evolving that whichever ones are best at getting there first are the ones that are more likely to breed. And so they start investing more and more into just getting back home as fast as possible. To the point at which they invest so much energy into getting there that they just keel over and die by the time they get there. They invest energy into nothing else other than getting back home and spawning. And it's so ingrained in them that even the ones that live in landlocked water, you know, they don't have to make a long trek, still die in breeding. They still invest that much energy. They cannot do it otherwise at this point. Also, salmon are weird because fish usually invest in large eggs or many eggs. Those are sort of like two opposites in terms of reproduction for them. Like, both have different benefits and costs. So usually they only go for one or the other. Salmon go for both. They have many eggs and they're big. So they've gone for both both of those. And that's another reason why this happens. It's a smaller reason, but it is another reason. Oh shit. Pushing the exit. We gotta stop him. Dead. That screech was horrifying. Did you hear that? Hey, I got no damage at least. I don't know what the heck was up with the block, but I'm not doing that again. Imagining a salmon laying its eggs and being left like an empty toothpaste tube. Hey, Kirby Squeak Squad fans, you're about to be pleased. Welcome, my little friend, or should I say friends? I am Daroch, captain of the treasure hunting Squeaks. I've sniffed out a stash of riches, and I must possess metals on this island. Would you help me collect these metals? Yes. Continue. Okay. Let's see what I got on the checklist. Can't believe he has a Halberd-style airship too, and it has his hat on it. Ta-da! Get all fruit in stage 3 of Green Grounds and clear the stage. Cool. The Howl Rat is. Yeah, I remember somebody on Kirby Wiki was a big fan of Daruch as well. Kirby Brawl Ball! Yes! This is one of the best ones! And I get to use the controller for it. This one's great. I used to play this one so much. It's one of the few times in the game you get to really use the controller. Alright, get ready for Kirby Brawl Ball stream for the next 2 hours. Whoops. There's our favorite stinky fish friend. Also, check out this music. Isn't this great? Also, this is supposed to use the screen cap, which I could turn on. Also, Tack is there. Check that out. Also, the little tornado guy. The minigames get a lot of references to other Kirby stuff, and it's really good. I used to be really good at this because I played it so much. Yes, watch this. Ta-da! There's boss fights. This is basically just like a remake of... what is it called? Kirby Pinball Land? That's what the pinball one is called, right? Kirby's Block Ball is the breakout one. Ta-da! I love the song on this. Shit. Damn. Guess I want to try again. There's more bosses. It's so elaborate, it's incredible. Also, look, I unlocked Biospark. Now every time I hit a flipper... Oh, and Tack. They're active now. They have been activated. I don't remember how to open King DDD. He just opened earlier. I wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, bouncies too. Oh, so you just get the star? No, I don't remember what I'm doing at all. Open your DDD, have it stop being closed. There we go. I don't remember what this star is doing, but hopefully we find out. Oh, that was really close. Love the slap bass. No! No! I didn't... No! Yes, I want to try again. Haunted Daruch plush that steals your kidneys? No thank you. One sec. Oh, DDDs. You'd think rolling DDDs on the little slot machine there would open DDD's mouth, but... evidently it does not. This is such good music. Yeah, they weren't messing around with this game. Every single part of it is just fantastic. 2 Kirbys! Wow! Every part of this game is so high effort. I love it. People slept on this game hard. This is a good game. It's kind of the last game Nintendo made that's really, like, focused on, like, DS features, you know? I don't even think they really made much of anything on the 3DS that really made use of it. Of like particular DS features. In like interesting ways, I guess. Like obviously stuff uses the touchscreen. But I feel like this style of game kind of went out of fashion with the DS. Didn't continue super a whole lot on the 3DS. I guess there's WarioWare Gold you could say did this kind of stuff. WarioWare Gold is really good, by the way. So I think King DDD is just open by default for the first boss. And then I have to collect these stars to get the next one. Ah! These stars that aren't messed up and evil. Bez's favorite quote of mine now is just messed up and evil stars. I'm quotable now. How about that? That's a star. Choo-choo-choo! Is that enough star? Get? The star goes into DDD's mouth and he opens it. King DDD opens his mouth because of the star. That's so weird. What if I was potable? No. That has implications. Hey look, it's blocky. I love their pinball interpretations of famous Kirby boss battles. Blocky fans are being fed right now. No! Well, his mouth will still be open. So we can try again. As soon as I can get the Kirby ball over there. No! Gosh dang it! You refrain from describing Lololo as famous. But Blocky is famous, though. Right? Blocky's the most famous Kirby, mini-boss. I was trying to grab Kirby with tack, but I failed. I think these are Kirby Superstar sprites just directly imported for tack and Biospark. It's kinda great. Love to see that happen. Because remember, Kirby Superstar Ultra was, the most recent Kirby game before this one. One came out in 2008, this one's 2011. So they're only a few years apart. Shit. There you go. Mintaka's on the side there, that's a new sprite for sure. That looks just like the sprite to me. Okay, so if you go in there, it activates the star. But you have to not fall in there. I love how the minigames are like games to beat in and of themselves in this. It's really good. This is one of the reasons I was excited to stream this, is because these minigames are so good. Literally do not remember Blocky. Oh, he was in Kirby's Dream Land 2. And I think Kirby's Return to Dreamland... Or no, Triple Deluxe. Triple Deluxe brings back Blocky as well. That's the one that has Blocky as well. Damn! just keep falling in there. Robobot has it too? Okay, cool. Yeah, Robobot brought back, bosses from Triple Deluxe, but like, robotized them. Robotization. Do-do. Ah! Look like they'd be a Dream Course exclusive enemy? Uh-oh. Does Dream Course even have any of its own enemies? I thought they all come from other Kirby games. Blocky was made out of wall bricks in that one. The new Microsoft Pinball looks great. This is better than Microsoft Pinball. You know what blew my mind that I found out about the Space Cadet Pinball? Is that A, it's made by Maxis. B, it's just a demo for a much larger game. It has more features both in the Space Cadet table, but also there's other pinball tables. It blew my mind when I found that out. I have that game on my computer. I have a port of it for Windows 10 that somebody made. Very good. Pretty sure I still have that on my computer. Ah! Dream Course has Transformer enemies that give you a random ability when you run into them. Huh. I didn't remember there was abilities in Dream Course. But yeah, there are. That's like a core feature of the game. Now that I think about it. I only played Dream Course once, you have to forgive me. That was several years ago now. Alright, put that thing in King Dedede's mouth and make him open it. King Dedede hates stars, that's why he like spits it out, I guess. He thinks they're messed up and evil stars. Yeah, this is a pinball stream. It could, I might end up just playing this, because I was looking forward to playing this on the stream. It's like, you don't even know how good this is. You ain't even know. I just like pinball in general, so... You've only played it twice, so I'm not alone. I played it on the Super NES Classic Edition when that came out. That was 2017, right? So, it's been that long since I played that. Actually, I think I played it briefly with Biss on stream, maybe? Or, I don't... maybe it wasn't on stream, but I think I briefly played it with Biss. On Switch Online. The famous Lo and La La La. A treasure chest. There was a key in there. What was the key for? How do you like this boss music, everybody? So much slap bass. Seinfeld style. Not having the screen gap is throwing me off a little bit. Here. Hi, I'm back. Had somebody busy in the kitchen behind me. Well, that was a great save. Come on, hit low, low, low. Hell yeah. I love how easy it is to make this ball seem 3D just by, like, having the animation of rolling, and then it's just, rotated. That's it. Like, the rolling animation is just on top of a sprite that stays still, that's a circle. And that's enough to make it seem three-dimensional. and you just rotate the direction of the rotation animation. Ah! And there you go. Very elegant system. And then you have, like, Mario Pinball Land, where they went to the trouble of, like, pre-rendering every single view that the ball could have, and there's just, like, 6 billion sprites of the Pinball Mario. I love that as well, because that's, like, that's the brute force method. You gotta respect that as well. It's really a shame that, like, sprite games, like, Nintendo stopped making them really at all. Unless they're just, like, taking old sprites and putting them in. Like, they didn't do, like, new, like, pixel art games after the DS. No! What? This is the end of that era as well. Sometimes I get sad that Nintendo doesn't do pixel art anymore. And it's just always all HD 3D stuff. The closest we had was the Crypt of the Necrodancer Zelda thing. That doesn't quite count, because that was, you know, basically an indie game. Because an indie studio got to make a licensed Nintendo game. Which is cool, right? But it's like, God, I wish they would just make that stuff on their own too, you know? I mean, indies are keeping up pixel art, but like, I don't know. I wish the big companies would see the value in it as well. Like, I remember Vinesauce before talking about how unfortunate it is that weird games don't get very big support from AAA companies anymore. Like, there used to be, like, big productions that were just, like, really weird avant-garde games. You don't really see that anymore. Nobody wants to take a risk on anything weird anymore. And then when they do, in some cases, like, you could argue Balan Wonderworld is sort of weird compared to a lot of games. They're incentivized not to do it again because you see how people react. I feel like people should be more accepting to just nonsense. Because that's what I was talking about during my Namco Museum stream, right? Where I just, like... Oh, Stasha, your pixel art's great! I've seen what you're working on right now. I love your terrain. It's really good. I love the aesthetic of it. But yeah, they... incentivize not to make weird stuff. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was on my Namco Museum stream, I was just talking about how I love playing a weird esoteric game. I have no idea what's going on. They just have just wild concepts, and they just throw them in there, because who cares? It's a video game. I feel like that's less of a thing outside of indie games nowadays. And like, don't get me wrong, it's really good that indie games are doing that. It's just you wish there was more because, like, as cool as indie games are, they don't have as big of an audience, and so it's just sort of like... It's like... it's a negative feedback loop, right? It's just like... most people don't see those games, so they don't, like, get the sales, they're not as popular, etc. No! I'm gonna keep going. I want to show you these boss fights. Ah! Another way around this would just be indies should get more attention than they do by the general public. Definitely not biased there as an indie developer myself. There you go. Ah! Like, there's the occasional big indie game that gets, you know, a lot of attention. You know, like you got your Cupheads, your Undertales, that kind of stuff. But there's just like such a vast sea of stuff out there. That's what Steam does great with that sometimes, like the Steam Next Fest thing, right? It was pretty much, it's just all indies, right? That's great. And Nintendo does promote indie stuff all the time. They have their little indie, whatchamacallit, their little indie direct things. That's good too. And like, you see them like supporting them, but it's like, I think there could be more done as well. Like, it's still just like, not everybody is gonna get that attention. I do like that Steam, like... when you put a game on Steam, they promote your game on the front page for a few days. No matter who you are. So I appreciated that. That was good for Pizza Time Explosion. A lot of people have that game on their wish list. It's like 500 people have Pizza Time Explosion on their wish list. And that's good because like every time there's a sale, people who have it on their wish list get an email that's like, hey, a game you wished for is on sale. There you go. Steam is, I like, my game did way better on Steam than on itch, than any of my games on itch did. As good of a platform as itch is, it's just too hard to get found on there. Because everybody and their grandma puts games on itch.io. And like... yeah. Even with the $100 that you have to spend to put your game on Steam, and with the much larger cut that they take than itch, I made way more money and got way more sales on Steam, so like it evened out to where it just wasn't even close. Steam was the way better platform to put the game on. Like, there's no, like... You don't get put on the front page of itch when you release a game. There's like... just everybody is constantly putting everything on there. So it's just, you're instantly lost in a sea of everything. So it's down to just what you can promote yourself, which is I'm really limited at. There's not really much I can do in that regard. When you put a game on Steam, people will come out and ask you for keys. Like to do YouTube videos, you get a lot of just free instant publicity. There you go. Ta-da-da. Like, Steam's not, like, Valve, they're not perfect, obviously, but, like, I have a lot good to say about how they run stuff. It's like, you can get your game on there easily. Nintendo, apparently, it's really, really hard to get your game on there if you don't have a publisher. I had somebody tell me that it's like, getting your game on Nintendo, it's not about what your game is, it's about who you are. And do you have a publisher? There you go. Like, they're telling me about somebody they knew who was trying to get their game on the Switch for ages. And that's extra bad as well, by the way, because they make you pay for the development kit first. So you can invest this money, and then they might not even let your game on there for nonsense reasons. And so that's great. But they said they were trying to get it on there, and Nintendo kept being like, you gotta have a publisher. And so they went to publishers, and they're like, we gotta see Steam sales first. And so it's just like, you're just stuck. So... I think if you are more... Like, if you have a company, if you're more than just, like, a person, you're probably more likely to get it on Nintendo, and I feel like a lot of that stuff is at least that. So... Like, the Spark the Electric Jester dev is talking about Nintendo just rejecting Spark the Electric Jester with no explanation given. It's like, that other person was lucky that Nintendo even was like, you have to have a publisher, because they can just reject you and say nothing. Give you no information why they didn't allow your game. There we go. There we go. Get in there, Kirby. Go get in DDD's mouth. This is a game where you actively want to get eaten by DDD. It's pretty great, huh? Shit. I think King DDD is the final boss of this, or is it Krakow? I don't remember what order this is. Yes! There we go. Let's do this. Heavy Lobster. Also, there's a sprite just directly from Kirby Superstar Ultra. Wheelie there. Look at that. This is Heavy Lobster's last appearance, by the way. I was disappointed. I hoped they would bring it back for Robobot. It would have been perfect, but they did not. They didn't even bring it back in like Kirby Fighters or Kirby Clash. It's really disappointing. I love Heavy Lobster. I don't know why, but it's one of my favorite Kirby bosses. What you do? Also, there's the little blobs that give you the paint ability. Here they just obstruct the screen. I love the style of those splats, by the way. It makes me think of Nitro. Ah! There we go. Yes, there we go. Did you bring back Heavy Mole too? I have less affinity for Heavy Mole, but I would not be unhappy to see it. Yay! Heavy Lobster is dead. There we go. Yeah, Nintendo is like they used to be really strict with what was allowed on the systems. And now they are not. Now they just really aren't. Like that person said, it doesn't have to do with the content of the game so much as it does who you are. So pretty much anything goes nowadays. I think you're just not allowed just porn. So all the porn games that you see going on there are like lessened. They've been decreased. There we go. But they're like lax enough that it's like, yeah, you can put your porn game on there as long as you like cover it up a little bit. There we go. Ta-da! This, coming from the same company that years ago rejected The Binding of Isaac for its content. And then, I mean, when they started changing their tune was probably around 2015, because that's when they put out the new 3DS, and the headlining game was Binding of Isaac. So that's about when that started to change. I gotta get it up in there to get the... I ended up in like a cycle that was unfixable. Gotta get it up in there as soon as possible. There we go. So we can start getting the stars. Thanks, Kine. Ah! There we go. No, what? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be squidding me. There are no squids in this game. So kidding was the correct answer, after all. I'm trying to hit it a little bit. Well, that was too much of a different angle. Oh, come on. Get in there. I want to see the last boss. Yeah, that's the smart way to do it, right? Ah! I'm trying. It's like it never gets any harder to get it in there. And yet I have more difficulty with it. I can't believe this. Ah! Oh, I don't think I saw anybody answer my question. I don't know if they did, but the ultimate arena thing, or the ultimate challenge, or whatever it's called in Kirby and the Forgotten Land, that's not the true arena, right? I can play that on my own off stream, because I want to do whatever the true arena is. I want to do that on stream. Those of you who know, please let me know. So there's 2 after that? Is that correct, Sasha? I did not see the answer earlier. Why do they call it ultimate? If it's not the ultimate one. Well, don't tell me the names. Well, it's too late now. No! Mentioning I have a penultimate cup called the Ultimate Cup. Yeah. There we go. Imagine not using the word penultimate at every opportunity. Well, I bet you get a notification on stream for the subscription. Oh wait, maybe I didn't set them up for the higher tiers. Oops. There's supposed to be a notification on screen when somebody subscribes, but you're at the higher tier and I don't think I set it up. Damn. Yeah, don't drink gasoline, Ash. Ta-da! If you want to drink gasoline, then you gotta get out of my chat. Well, how would I know it, Sasha? Because I hadn't played it yet, because I didn't know if it was the last one or not. Huh. But you're fine, it wasn't a big deal. I did want to know if there was more, so... Okay, we gotta get that star. I really want to remember what the final boss of this is. I think it's Krakow. Damn. No, I wasn't gonna play it, Sasha, because I didn't know what the end of it was. Like, I didn't think that was the last one, but I wanna stream the last one. But I don't know what the last one's gonna be. There you go. Okay, star. Cool. Cool beans. Okay, the other one's over there now. Oh, I think it'll just... Oh, damn. I thought that was a good enough trajectory for it. Oh. I guess it was. You can get the star again? What does that do? Bonus points, probably? Shit. Get in there. Come on. No! Oh! Oh! Wait, we're okay for now. Okay. Bad angle. This is nerve-wracking. I can do that. It didn't help at all, but I did it. Beans. Beans in the soup. Okay, well... Okay, we got it! Oh, it's Marks! Right, it's all Kirby Superstar. This is even better. Krakow is in here somewhere. I know. Well, if we don't beat that, that's fine. We can get back to the main game. We've seen all the bosses. I know Krakow is in one of these games. I was just misremembering where. Sasha says the clown appears. Also, yeah, all the enemies here are... If you don't recognize one, it's probably just one we haven't seen in this game yet. Why am I not damaging Marks? This game is spoiling things a little bit. Those moles and the little bumpers on the sides that send you back if you go down the side holes show up later. Wait, what is that? I want that. Hey, what is that, game? Hey, game, what is that? I don't remember this at all. What is that? Now when I want to get going around the sides, I can't. Great. When I want to go up there, I can't. Come on, go up there! There we go. I don't remember this. What is this? Excellent. Oh, now I remember this. Look, here's Waddle Doo. I say that because I've been missing Waddle Doo in Forgotten Land. Ah! No! Grindar is the Kirby Brawl Ball enemy that gets referenced in Kirby Mass Attack. I might as well give up now. No, I'll keep... I didn't even do any damage to Marks. I've gotta fix that. Marks must be damaged. I'm streaming this game for about another hour, so maybe I'll finish this before that point, and we can get back to the main game. But I love this. Anyway, you gotta spend a lot of time with the minigames in this game. They're like half the game. This is a big-ass game, by the way. Like, when I say people slept on this, I really mean it. There's so much here. No! Come on. Ah. Great. Thanks. This minigame alone puts this game above several Kirby entries for you, Chroma. You haven't even... This isn't even the best one. Like, I like this one a lot. There are several other minigames I like even better. So... just keep an eye out for those. Or be ready for them, I should say, rather. Ah. Ta-da! Also, for those who are just joining us, Rowdy Tops is here with us. Ta-da! Do-do! Yeah, I had a really funny thing when I was buying my new shoes. I was buying on the site called Footlocker, which is funny in and of itself. But secondly, I tried to put in my order, and it just says "You are blocked." And the reason seems to have just been because I had my ad blocker on. And so it's just like, it's like that SpongeBob video, you know, where Squidward goes, "That's cringe," and then SpongeBob goes, "You're cringe," and then Squidward cries. Except for it was just like, I tried to block them. I turn on the ad blockers there, and they're like, "No, you're blocked!" It was so funny. Shit. I'll give this a few more tries. I do want to play some more of the main game. But Blocker really said no you. Great. There were no ads on the site, Ash. They just, if you had an ad blocker on, they didn't allow... They didn't allow you through. Like, it didn't even do the CAPTCHA thing, it was just like... Instead of loading that, it was like, "You are blocked." And it gave reasons you might be blocked, and one of them was like, "You are disabling something," I forget what it said on the site, and I was like, oh, it probably means it's probably my ad blocker. And it was, I turned that off and then it was fine. But yeah, funny. Shit. Yeah. There we go. Do-do-do. I've never seen a website do that to me before, it was wild. I could not buy it, like I clicked the buy button and it's like, "You are blocked." They blocked me from buying something because of the ad blocker. They didn't want my money because I had ad blocker on. That's pretty wild, I think. Okay, when I want to... Can't get all the way around there. Boom, okay. Here we go. Cool beans. What was that? What? Chat? Did you see that? That was nonsense. What the hell was that? Not good. Very bad, in fact, I would call that. Also, I love how Marx is so big in this. He's like massive. Marx in biggened mode. Speaking of, the latest Marvel thing that's annoying to me is that they're doing a Miss Marvel show, right? And her thing is usually being weird and stretchy, right? But now they're making a Fantastic Four movie, and so they've decided they don't want her to be too similar to Mr. Fantastic. So they've given her weird magic powers instead. And I'm like... disappointed. Ah! That's like... not interesting. Like, why even have it be, like, don't even do Miss Marvel then if you're not gonna do it right. She was in the, Avengers cartoon. She was great there. So, yeah, I'm not really happy about that. But Marvel is just like, they just, like Sarah, I just watched Sarah Zed's video about the like nerd culture of like the 2010s and how it has sort of fallen off. And was just talking about, you know, how Marvel really changed everything. And how, like, they are even bigger than ever, while nerd culture is smaller than ever. Or it's kind of non-existent, really. At least in the way that it was in the 2010s. And it's just, they do so much. It's like, there's too much of it now. They just keep doing more and more. And it's like... the Miss Marvel show is the epitome of that, where it's like, I feel like they shouldn't have even made this, if they're not gonna do it right. I mean, the shows are interesting sometimes. They've been doing some, like, really esoteric stuff sometimes. Like, we just watched Moon Knight, and it was really strange and esoteric. I don't know if it was my favorite, but at least it was weird. I appreciate them just going out on a limb and doing weird stuff. There you go. There you go. I'm also just sort of not fond of the direction they've gone with Thor, where he's so silly. But yeah, the Sarah Zed's newest video is really good. She just sort of talks about, but there's a lot of stuff just about modern movies and sort of the tone that they all have and everything, and sort of where that came from. There you go. I like how Marks has a smaller Marks as the hazard. There we go. I grew up like with like the old Thor comics, and like the first movie or two was really like that kind of tone, and it was really good. But those are the ones people say are bad or whatever. But it's like, I don't know, I like the character better in those. Ta-da! They made him far too silly. He's like he's just like a completely different character. Oh. Yeah, I feel like there's too much. Ta-da! I know more people who are tired of those movies than people who like them nowadays. Do-do-do. I feel like they're too ubiquitous. They sort of outstayed their welcome, and there's a lot of people who are just sort of tired of the way that they've sort of just like tainted all movies. You know, like they're all like every movie's trying to be like that, and like the writing style and everything. That like there was a comment I read on the Sarah Zed video that was just like they said they were rewatching the Lord of the Rings and realizing that like a movie like that would not go over well now because it's like, oh, there's too long of stretches where they don't break the tension with jokes or whatever, or like they never like wittily acknowledge what's going on is weird and like stuff like that, you know, like it's very invested in itself, and I think it doesn't feel the need to make nods to the audience that it's a movie and stuff like that, you know. I just really recommend that video. It had a lot of good stuff in it. Yeah, the video did mention that sort of like 2019 was sort of the end of a lot of this. Partially because Endgame came out. And like, end is literally in the name there. Look at all the Kirbys. This is like a raid boss. You just go hog wild here, really. Not much strategy. Every time you beat those smaller marks, you get another Kirby. Or you get 2 more Kirbys, rather. Yes. Look at all the Kirbys. Also, speaking of YouTube stuff, there's a channel that I found that's pretty small, but that that's like really good productions, and I've been really enjoying. It's called Posy, P-O-S-Y. Particularly his video about segmented LCD displays. Or just segmented displays, LCD or otherwise. Look at that. Ah! Just wildly flipping the flippers. Wildly paddling the paddlers. The paddles. I've seen them called flippers, I've seen them called paddles. Okay, please do not kill. Okay, that's really scary when that happens, because you have no choice but to hit your Kirby's up there. I guess you could just hold them in place, potentially. Okay, mini marks, please. No! Oh my god! How did I end up losing them all? I had so many! Now I gotta get... Chat. Everything went wrong all at once. I'm so upset. Press X to pay respect. I always like to mix those two up. Press F to doubt and press X to pay respect. I'll do it again. This is my last try. I can't take that laying down. So you must understand. You gotta understand. I cannot take that. That's Marx's trick. Thanks, Marx. Yeah, exactly. I'm not taking it laying down, because I'm not laying down. I'm taking it sitting up. Okay, I just want to hit... There we go. Thank you. Okay, that's in a convenient spot. There's one right there. There we go. That was quick. It was pretty painless. We lost Kine already, that's not great, but... Okay, can you get out of there, Kirby? Did you see me deftly hit Kirby with the Biospark shot? As he went through there, by the way. Perfect timing. I was very pleased with that. There we go. Yes. Boom. You do these left eye slides to the side when he blinks? I didn't notice that. Okay, thank god I didn't lose a Kirby on that. I lost the Kirby slightly after that, but... Okay, mini marks, please return. Please return mini marks. There we go. Oh yeah, also I wanna, once again, I haven't advertised it here yet, probably everybody knows about it by now, but just in case, down below the stream in the panels we have donations now. Been advertising those all week. Maybe more than a week now, but you can put a little message in there, and it gets read by funny text-to-speech voice. It's a fun time. Also, we got a bunch of new emotes. Gonna advertise that again. Sashi used one of them earlier. Thank you, Sasha, for modeling the emotes once again. Golden Mole tribute. Ah! I should check my donations box. I don't think anybody sent anything off stream, but I should check anyway, just in case. Because they did advertise you can do that, and I will read it myself. Oh, I thought he was about to do the black hole thing, so I was holding the Kirby's. Now he's doing it. Well, holding the Kirby's didn't help very much. I lost more than I probably would have if I didn't hold them. Fantastic. Oh, does the mini marks not give more Kirby's now? That would explain how this happened. Uh-oh. 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 Is the golden mole the forgiving type? Do we know? Yeah, it doesn't give new Kirby's anymore, eh? Don't think the golden mole would hold a grudge. Cool. Now I gotta do all the rest of the damage with only one Kirby. Brilliant. Oh, thank God. It bounced off of something immediately. Oh, fiddlesticks. Okay, let's not have a repeat of last time. We just gotta get back in DDD's mouth. Oh yeah, his eye does shift when he blinks. That's weird. Why'd you do that, Kirby Mass Attack? Why'd you do that to DDD? No! The Uru got me. Well, that's enough. Let me get my tablet back. Hi, did you forget that there was a whole other game here? Hope you remembered this part of the game. About to press the monkey destruction switch for that one. Good thing I'm not a monkey. Also, I really liked this outfit and how it looked on stream, so I'm wearing it again today. I like this outfit a lot. Oh yeah, these things, I forgot- What?! In the world? There. Brilliant. I fixed it, don't worry. Nothing happened. Yeah, that was better. I couldn't do it last time because I got distracted by the stream spumbasing. Or, well... I guess the stream was fine, but... rendering of this game was not... Hey, what the hell was that? They went off the screen without me. Wow, it's a wiggler. Can't believe they'd reference Mario in this game. Failure. One of those is gonna have a medal in it, isn't it? We need to tell Nintendo about this. Wow, can you believe they referenced Mario and Kirby? You gotta sue Kirby for this, Nintendo. Nintendo, you gotta sue Kirby. He referenced Mario in his game that he made himself. How's this for some music? Uh-oh. They must sue their own franchise, yes. Ta-da! You like the idea that Kirby directs the Kirby games? Yes. Kirby makes them. They're all vanity projects. Oh yeah, what did I say? Well, everything other than what I wanted. Yes, I know. I know, I screwed up. I know. Fucked it. I'm sorry, game. Here, get in there. There. Wait, there's something up there? No, they're in a bad cycle. Get out of there, Kirby's. And they're gonna do a loop-de-loop, look at that. Woo! The Kirby's are having fun. Imagine if I split into multiple Elenas. Oh. Kill that thing, Kirby. Kill it. Oh, why? It's just like, now they're referencing Super Mario Bros. 2. By the things that chase you when you hold the key. The skeleton appears! They're taking the Kirby's. They took my Kirby's, chat. Okay, they untook them, because I unlocked the treasure chest. There we go. No, Sasha, we did not. The same thing happened again. I fell down the hole, and then I fell down the other hole. Before I could get back into DDD's hole. And I gave up. Because I wanted to play more of the regular game. We'll have a Mark's Redemption stream later. At some point before I'm finished streaming this game in full, I will redeem myself at pinball. Ta-da! Kirby just likes to destroy in this game. Kirby's just pissed off that he's been split into multiple bodies. He's taking it out on literally everything. Just gone mad with power. Ah! There. Oh no! Kirby got hurt. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Got it. Ah, metal. Oh, nice audio crest there for that one. Good job. Standing here, I realize, but it's best punching Sasha, and she just flails around. Run, Kirby, run! Kill. It's gonna be a tutorial about doing this, I think. Yeah. Yes! Yes! God damn it! I made a mistake, I'm sorry, game. You make a mistake, you get tutorialed! Mistakes are not allowed. If you make a mistake, we assume you have no idea what the frick you're doing. Get on there, Kirby. Ah! Here's the little mole guys. Ta-da! Bam. Bam. Can you believe that this year I will have been streaming for 4 years? Yeah, this is the boss battle theme in this game, Biss. What is it a remix of? The song is familiar, but I don't remember where else it's from. Room Guarder from Kirby 64. Oh. Ah. So one of the Kirby games I haven't really played. That would explain why I can't really remember it. This game has sick Kirby Air Ride remixes, which I'm fond of. I like these versions better than the Kirby Air Ride ones. Possibly just because I heard them first, but... that's my opinion on them. Whatever the case may be. The hell was that sound? I don't remember that at all. That was a sound and a half? What? No Kirbys were lost. Boom. That's what moles sound like? It's okay for them to do it? I'm gonna play until 2 PM my time, because then I have a half hour until we go to the movie. You completed more of the checklist. I got something new and extras. Oh, maybe we'll... That is not what I meant to tap on. Kirby Curtain Call. This is a much less elaborate minigame. Also, stream's farting. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Stream's scrambling. Okay, it's good now. Yeah, 2011. Gonna tap on Kirby? How many Kirbys did you see? One. We have to count. Hope y'all ready for counting. 2 Kirby's. Oh, 1 sec. I saw 2 Kirby's. Hi, Shan. Hope you're enjoying. More Superstar Ultra Sprites. Getting good asset reuse in this game. That's 3 Kirby's. Ta-da! That's 4 Kirby's. Ta-da! 1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Kirby's. Oops. More enemy spoilers, yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Kirby's. Wrong button. There we go. Hi. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Kirby's. Boom. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, I did it! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ta-da! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just 8. I haven't seen more than 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of them was really hiding. Oh, you know about Bitey of Brackenwood, Chroma? Hell yeah. I remember I watched that because they showed it in my animation class. As an example. That's where I first saw it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many was there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 12! I was one off. There was one more than 11. Damn. That was pretty great though, right? Okay. I don't have enough time to do a whole other level, so we're probably gonna call it good here. It's good to know how to make a quick exit. Restart. Darroach the Hitman. Wonder if those sprites are directly out of Squeak Squad. Scully Evader. Not being picked up, then clear the stage. Well, I did get picked up, but I didn't get picked all the way up. So I guess that's fine, huh? What's new here still? Oh, I never did the music player. I like the music player here. Look at the little band. Dark Clouds. What other did I get? Oh yeah, this is my favorite song. Well, one of them. There's several songs that I could call my favorite here. Yeah, since I'm just ending now. Here's a close-up from Roddy again. Roddy Tops. Ta-da! My co-streamer. There you go, Roddy. Well, I hope you've all had a good time. Here we go. Unfortunately, this is the whole stream today. Because I'm about to be busy. But tomorrow, I should be here with Biss. And hopefully we can do Kirby Superstar and Kirby Streamland 3. Depends on when we get started, I guess. Hopefully we can have a whole 4-hour stream. That would be really cool. 4 hours of Biss. How about that? It might just only be like 2 or 3 hours, actually, but... if things work out, we can do that. That would be great. Yes. Just because I don't completely trust it to save my thing, I'm gonna also do a save state. Boom. Imagine 4 hours of Biss. So Biss, before I log off here, do you like the idea of us trying again at the arena in Kirby Superstar together? Because I would like to do that. I've been inspired by you streaming with Arrow. Because we have to beat that together before you and Arrow beat that together. I would not... It would be unacceptable to me if Arrow beat that first. And I also still want to do Kirby Streamland 3. So hopefully, we can have enough time to do both in one stream. That would be cool. So... schedule going to be. So there's that. So tomorrow we'll do that. Thursday is Subnautica, Below Zero, and I'll be doing more Pokemon Legends. And then Friday, I'm planning to start Kirby's Return to Dreamland. And I'm going to do Namco Museum Arcade Pack. So that should be fun, because there's some stuff on there that is not on the other one, and also it's original arcade versions. So there's also that benefit. And then next Sunday will be Kirby Mass Attack and Kirby Streamland 3 again, so lots of Kirby. Lots of Kirby. This is the Kirby era of my stream. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry the stream's kind of short today, but I think it was still fun. We had a good time. And I'll see you tomorrow with Biss. Bye!